Good morning, you guys. Hope you guys are alert. I hope you guys are ready for Monday because this morning we waste no time as we discuss the big developments surrounding Hato and Xavi Simons. Things are probably going to get down this week, my friends, and it's looking incredibly exciting. So I hope you guys enjoy the reports today. But very quickly, if you guys are still planning on buying any of this summer's merchandise range in time for the new season, hopefully you guys don't mind using one of my affiliate links, because obviously I do get a little commission from each sale and I get to use this to reinvest back in the channel and of course reinvest into the editors who are helping me create more ambitious content that I'm looking to do for this season for sure. You guys are getting like an early vibe behind some of the things I'm doing with like the docu-series and more analytical pieces. So yeah, obviously it helps when I get support from the community. No pressure at all, of course, and yeah, do what you guys want to. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's discuss today's massive reports. And for the first story, we have some interesting news yet again surrounding Gianluigi Donnarumma, because Paris Saint-Germain are offering Donnarumma now to interested parties. Some of those parties involve clubs including ourselves, Saudi clubs, Galatasaray, who have tons of money to splash after all the investments the leagues have been securing this summer, as well as City and Man United. Now, City are close to re-signing their former academy star in James Trafford. Man United, do they even have the funds to afford something like that? They probably have to sell Onana first, right? And we are another name that have kind of been there behind the scenes, kind of just like monitoring the situation surrounding Donnarumma. Now, from my own perspective, and I'm not saying my perspective is the best one, but for my own one, I don't really see maybe the utility behind this, because we know that Donnarumma is on a massive contract of around like 12 mil euros net per year, and I can't see us breaking our wage structure. I mean, we heard all the reports before the window even opened. Chelsea Football Club, for the right player, would decide to break anything and everything if they're the correct one, and that obviously is not the case. Now, for my opinion on those earlier reports, I feel like maybe that was Bowley's side communicating that, because Todd Bowley's very much been about making superstar deals happen. He's done that, obviously, in baseball time and time again. You've seen it. You know the reports, right? But from Egbali and obviously our director's side, they want a more, sustainable ecosystem where we don't want to go above and beyond when we don't have to. And I think they won in the end. And at the moment, I'm not complaining about any of the business we're doing, but based on those principles and on that logic, I can't see us breaking the bank for Donnarumma. If I was to be super cynical, I could be like, this guy is like the Italian version of Robert Sanchez. Let's see what happens there. But again, this is my perspective. I want to see things from the club's perspective, and considering that Donnarumma has 1 year left on his existing deal, you can't imagine that his transfer cost is going to be that high. Could the club maybe think to themselves, you know what? Because this guy is going to cost absolutely nothing, could that potentially offset whatever wages we offer him? Because, he was fantastic in 2025, which is the truth. He got better and better. Maybe like small deficiencies, like being a bit weak when it comes to high claims, aerial domination. He looked like a Prem keeper in 2025. You saw that a lot in the Champions League. He's made some spectacular saves, especially those saves against Arsenal too in the semi-final, which we're not going to forget anytime soon. He's only 26 years old and he's only going to get better. And goalkeepers, of course, can play till their 40s if they look after themselves, right? So could the club maybe think, you know what? Near the end of the window, Donnarumma's not going anywhere anytime soon. We've got all the main guys we want now. We're selling more players. Do we look to maybe reinvest some of those funds from sales now into completing the squad by maybe making a move for Donnarumma? I guess we watch this space, even though I'm not feeling particularly optimistic on this. Maybe, I don't know, you guys, should we have that conversation? Has Sanchez done enough now to get another season? His last few months have been really strong. I think they culminated in his Club World Cup performances, and his game versus Paris Saint-Germain was a career high, in my opinion. He was showcasing the distribution that Maresca's been calling upon from this guy ever since he's been working with him. And if Sanchez is now finally getting that and improving, do we maybe keep him? Because my main thinking around that is that you're waiting for Mike Penders. Now today, Penders is set to complete his loan move to Strasbourg. Penders is a player the club absolutely love. Maresca is a big fan. It's only because of his ball distribution skills at the moment and the fact that the club don't want to ruin his confidence. When you're a young player, it's not just about having the ability. It's about how you manage them as human beings to get them ready, not just physically, but mentally for the big stages. And I guess going to Strasbourg, performing there, playing in Europe as well, working under Rossinia, improving your ball distribution, that will put you on an incredible trajectory to come back to us and become that number one. So I'd be very surprised if we made a move for Donnarumma, considering Mike Penders is seen as the future in goal. So let's watch this space. How you guys feeling around this story? Share your thoughts and opinions. But right now, let's discuss today's massive reports surrounding top targets today, my friends. Now it's time we discuss this morning's big updates and developments surrounding Jorrel Hato. This morning, David Ornstein released the bomber, and he reveals that we are closing in on a deal to capture Jorrel Hato. Now, in terms of the costs, we do understand that Ajax have rejected our first offer of around 40 mil euros, but there was this big belief that a compromise would be a possibility to get this deal over the line. Ajax need to reinvest back into their team. From the potential sale of Hato, they'd have around 20 million to reinvest into signing a holding mid, as well as signing a left back too. And now we're learning that that compromise is starting to get reached. And based on Dutch reports, there is the possibility that this deal is going to be around 50 mil euros. But the key details that are going to get it over the line are going to come down to things such as the structure of the deal and resale percentages included as well. That's going to be the big thing that can bring the amount closer to the 50 mil euros. So add-ons and resale percentages should be enough to get this deal over the line, my friends. And this way, Chelsea are buying him for a pretty affordable price right now. And we can spread the costs out in more manageable ways. And for myself, this is big news, exciting news. Of course, Hato already has confirmed that he wants to sign for us. He's not looking to go anywhere else at this point in time. We know that he didn't take part in Ajax's pre-season cup final friendly game against Como, where they got destroyed 3-0. So he's probably leaving Ajax at the best possible time right now. So let's watch that space. But yeah, for us, we are signing literally the best player we could sign to act as the understudy, the competition, and the future successor to Marc Cucurella. Let's keep it real. I think Hato, at 19 years old, over 111 appearances for Ajax, born leader. He was born a leader. He's been a leader throughout all the age groups with the Dutch national team as well too. And one of Ajax's youngest captain in their history. I think when you have the personality, when your physiology is now close to being where it has to be. He did have, like, the last 2 years, he had to kind of adjust to his body still growing and, playing with more muscle mass, etc., etc. But he's not finished growing or getting bigger. And I think the potential is showcasing already that he can play this amount of football this young, this consistently. I think that's a big pro because it tells us there's longevity to this guy's career. He's not going to be relied upon to play that many games for us, not when we have Cucurella there. But we can't forget that he can also be that understudy playing on the left side of defense too, because I can imagine that there are going to be certain games where Maresca might alternate, might rest Levi Colwill, and Hato could be that guy that possibly plays there as well too. I think the guy is pretty complete. I keep referencing Gvardiol because he is literally like a Dutch version of him. That's how I see him. Gvardiol is a complete football player, does ridiculous things for Man City. Hato does the same stuff, ridiculous progressive abilities. Very brave play when he's defending on the front foot, when it's attacking spaces, when it's underlapping, when it's overlapping. For me, I am very happy with this move. And, from like seeing certain options like House and even Calafiori last season, who I was a fan of, and Maresca was as well too. There aren't like many elite options who can maybe play this inverted style fullback role, but Hato is the best the market can offer right now. The fact that he wants us, the fact he wants to come here, this is a massive coup, and it really just gives even more clout now to this project that all these youngsters know about, that have been excited by, absolutely gassed by, and now they want to become part of to make things happen. So it's starting to feel like, you know, you look towards 2030, add another 5 years to all these guys' ages, they're still going to be young, and if they play consistently over the years together and still continue to grow and develop, yeah, we're really building one of the most solid, ridiculous foundations in Europe right now. I think this is why many clubs, even though us fans at times haven't always seen it, because we need to feel that trust completely to see a vision, right? When there's a bit of doubt, it's kind of hard to completely back something when you've been burnt how many times before, right? Fair enough. But people in football, for many articles we've read, have always kind of quoted our, you know, projects we're building, the excitement there, and maybe how they see it working long term. And you guys are starting to make quite a bit of sense right now with some of these deals we're doing, especially in this window. So how are you guys feeling about Jorrel Hato getting wrapped up soon come? Share your thoughts and opinions, but obviously, my friends, let's also discuss the developments surrounding Xavi Simons. Now, very exciting developments on Simons. We're learning that in terms of personal terms have been agreed upon right now. They're done. In terms of the contract offered, it seems to be it's going to be 7 years plus an additional 1 year as well, just to you know, act as an option to extend, which is another popular thing the club like to do. And it simply comes down now to finding the structure. Leipzig aren't backing down from the 60 mil pounds, you know, 70 mil euros that they want to get from this deal, right? And you believe that with Joao Felix now going to Al Nassr, we're going to bag at least 44 million from that deal, plus future add-ons as well. This creates the possibilities now to wrap this deal up and get things over the line, which is really exciting. That's going to get done pretty soon right now. Xavi Simons has rejected all interested parties, all clubs that have spoken to his agent. He only wants to sign for us. As I keep stressing, and I'm going to keep stressing this so we don't forget, Enzo Maresca has played a part in this because he really wants him in the squad. So if Maresca is advocating for a particular player like this, then I have to trust him, because I've been really trusting the decision making and the way Maresca's been moving, actually. Yeah, I'm really impressed by this guy, to keep things real with you guys. So at the moment, it looks like it's going to be a double Dutch season next season. Seeing Hato and Simons down the left-hand side at times, it's going to be quite exciting. I think Simons, you know, I think he's grown quite a lot. There was criticisms I've read around this game about maybe how he's not controlling things all the time. But I also think to myself sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, look at Pedri, for example. It wasn't until maybe last season he was seen like in that particular manner that he could maybe run in midfield and control things. And he's like, what, 23 years old? Sometimes we forget that these guys are still developing and still growing it, and Simons hasn't mastered his game. But I think it's incredibly unfair to not think that this guy is a match winner, a game influencer, a disruptor, a game changer. I don't like normally referencing stat websites, but this guy has been averaging at least 7 point plus throughout the entirety of the season. Yeah, so that really just communicates the consistency behind how he's influencing games. I think with his progressive carrying, his shooting outside the box, I'm really excited to see that possible link up between himself and Cole Palmer. And I'm just excited by how we have these solutions now to come up against these deep low block teams that have been a curse against us for years now. Not even last season, but forever. So right now, I feel like these will be the two massive deals. Then we're going to sell more players, and then we're going to look towards the centre-back market as well as the goalkeeper. And keep your eyes out on Mark Gay, as I discussed in a video I think 2 weeks ago, because those communications are not over yet at all, my friends. So that's the latest on Hato and Simons. Get ready for some big announcements to come through, my friends. But right now, let's end things with the final report. And we've learned that Fulham have made a formal inquiry now for the services of Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. I think this is, pretty interesting, pretty expected. Now, as Ben Jacobs reports right here, Fulham have made the formal inquiries. We value him as a squad player. We're not actively forcing any sales, but if the money's good, then let's talk, right? But it would have to be more than what we spent on him last season. I think if there's one thing I think all us fans are kind of getting now that's even clearer, we're not taking losses on players. Yeah, minus the book values or whatever, we're not taking losses on no one. And after spending around 30 million on Dewsbury-Hall, it would have to be something that matches that or is more, right? So let's see what happens there. In my opinion, I say we sell up if an offer comes, because realistically, I see his minutes getting even lower for next season. And if he's not playing consistently, his value is going to drop in the next 6 months to 12 months. So while the interest is high for him, sell him while he is hot. I don't have anything against him. I think he seems like a likable guy, but I've never really felt like he has the qualities to play for us. Yes, he's showcased in the final 10-15 minutes, acting as a sub that he's going to run hard and press, whatever. Cool. That's bare minimum stuff. And I've always kind of found it funny how we apply that type of principle to players based on what? There's no real consistency behind it. He's had his moments, of course, in the Conference League, his goal against Benfica as well too, but I don't think it's enough. And I think with the squad we have right now, I think we have his position covered by a lot at this moment, especially in midfield with now Santos and Osugo being here alongside Lavia, Enzo and Caicedo. So hopefully Fulham come in big. I think Fulham would be a great move for him. Fulham have been a great home for players that have left the big clubs. Look at your Iwobis, Smith Rose. I'm thinking of other guys that they've signed as well. Top of my head, who else have Fulham signed that have Calvin Bassey, Andreas Pereira from Manchester United. I think Dewsbury remaining in London, playing for a really solid Prem club who are like the definition of mid-table, but they have big moments every season and they have respect because they're not whipping boys for any team. You have to play well to beat Fulham. So let's see what happens there, because if the money is right, I don't think we say no to sanctioning a sell. And of course, if Dewsbury-Hall, of course, wants to go, because obviously reports also revealed that he wants to get more consistent first team minutes next season, which, at this age, you need to be playing week in, week out now. So my friends, they're all the reports today. Get involved, share your thoughts and opinions, and hopefully tonight we get some big news surrounding deals getting finalized and wrapped up now. So stay tuned on Blue Lions TV this whole week. I got you guys covered. Love. Cool.